Hello, my name's Randy Keaton, and we're going to be talking about what's in my tackle box, and we're going to talk about this unique MTB Pro tackle box. You can get them off the internet, and you have to order them. It comes in every month. You pay like $10. You can get bigger boxes, come $15 or however you want to get it. But the good part about it is if you're going out to the store and you're spending money, they send you stuff that's $20 plugs and on higher and up, and you're saving more if you're just doing this because you're just getting $10, but you're really getting $60 to $70 worth of items. I'll show you in my tackle box here what we got. I've already got into it and opened it, but I just figured I'd share and it's called Mystery Tackle Box Pro Experience, and they're on Facebook, Twitter, and everything. All you gotta do is just go on there, go to the website and order it, and I'm gonna show you what's in it. What I got in it. We got this unique Booyah trailer. It's pretty cool. It's double bladed. You put swim baits on them. You can put just crank baits, anything you want to trail behind it. That's one of the things we got out of it. And this is not even supposed to be. They've not even topped the market on these things. I've never even seen them before. There's some kind of crawdads. I've not opened them yet. I've not used them. They just come in today. And we got more other stuff. We got the VMC Slinging Rubby jigs. They're pretty nice to use. And we got these. I've never seen these before. They're custom Lucker Hunter worms with some kind of new jig head designs on them. They're good weedless designs of what they say they are. They got instructions on the back. I don't know how they work, so I'll let you know in upcoming videos. And we got a nice little Stanley spinner bait. It's a double blade. And then we'll move on to what's in my tackle box, because the other thing that come in it is in my tackle box now. I'm talking about all my plugs and trailers I use. Now this is all my plugs. Very shiny connection. I love them. And this $20 plug come in that box today. A lot of people don't know the difference between a shallow and a deep runner. Your deep runners are always going to have the bigger bills. So if you're fishing, you're always getting hung up, and you don't know why you're getting hung up, and you're using these things, it's maybe because you're going too deep. These things are meant to travel deeper. Now this is a shallow runner plug for shallow waters. See how the bill is much smaller? Let me find a small deep runner. Right here. See how smaller the bill is compared to a deep runner that's the same size? Yeah, it's very important. If you want to keep your plugs and you're buying $7, $8 plugs and you keep losing them, you might want to go with a shallow runner. And again, here's my trailers I like to hook on my spinner baits and stuff. And I got a swim bait in here. I don't know why it's in here. I'm going to shut this up. Go on to the next one. This got on my swim bait, my spinner baits and stuff. I got a wacky worm sitting here. Now my favorite this watermelon color here, if you're a bass fisherman, smallmouth, largemouth, that little watermelon dude, I'm telling you, he'll catch you a fish. They're really good colored. They're good for really clear water. They're good for muddy water. That shine, that bright shine catches them. And my fan, and I'm pretty familiar with these buzz baits. throwing across the log or anything, or however you're fishing. It's fun to watch them bass jump up and attack one of these things. If you're fishing and you got your little trailer on there, and you got this dude that spins on top of water and it just barely sits above water, I've threw it across logs and pulled them over and watched them fish jump up and hit them things. It's pretty unique. And we're going to move on. See that box. Then we're going to talk about. Now this is my floating box, my worm box. I like to worm fish if I'm bank fishing. This is my floaters, all my floaters I got, my separate sinkers. And if you're worm fishing, you don't need nothing no bigger than a size 8 hook most of the time. Unless you're just going for, you know, extremely big fish, catfish, muskies, or however you want the bottom fish. And then all you need is maybe a 6. You don't need no major big hooks. You ain't fishing for saltwater fish. Fish can't hardly get it in their mouth. Yes, they may swallow the hook, but it's easier to catch your fish. It's easier to hook your fish. You don't want to sit there and put you don't want to sit there and, oh, if I got that fish or not. You don't want to lose your fish. So a smaller set hook will be better because you're not going after something with a mouth that big around. Now here we got my worms, my swim baits, my crawdads. Now if you're ever in the shop and you come upon trocar hooks, these trocar hooks are amazing hooks. Trocar makes one of the best hooks. They're very sharp, and they're just the design of them. That's a wide design of the hooks. Let me see if I can find you a streak. I know I got them, but they're in the other tackle box. I don't got them in here. Then again, your little swim bait worms, they hit real well on this kind of color, this red. It's got that green in it. I mean, it's a bright color. That green sparkle. Fish love that color. I don't know why. Now these crawdads, they're unique, and that's about the only crawdads I use because you can put the sinker in through here. See, they get a little hole in the mouth of the crawdad that you can just shove your sinker, your bell sinker, right through them and feed your hook straight up the top, and you jerk that thing and it swims across the bottom, just like a crawdad would. They got real good action. Another way, if you're a bank fisherman and you're not really catching nothing and you're trying hard, and if you can go so far out, and if you're casting down the sides of the banks, a wacky worm is your best friend. I'm telling you right now, a wacky worm, you put this dude on like this. You can put your dude, I mean, a wacky worm rig, I mean, it goes through the water and it looks like the worm's moving down. And if you hook them the right way, if you're using bands on a wacky worm rig, you can hook them this way and make them look like they're swimming at a side angle coming down the line. So therefore the bass, if they see that, they're going to think that's a meal for them. They're going to eat it as fast as they can get it. And here's another crawdad I've not got to use, but people, they say they're a good lure. They're good for smallmouth. I've not tried them out yet. And these dudes are pretty good on smallmouth. The colors, if you're in a really clear water river and you're fishing them in smallmouth, if you're not in lakes or nothing, and if you feed your hook through this, when you're feeding the hook, a lot of people mistake. You can make these weedless just like you can any other worm or any way you want to feed your hook. All you got to do is take your hook, take the head of it, pinch it in, barely get enough on that head. Well, it's actually the butt of the crawler. Push it up, turn your crawler around, push your crawler up, and now you have a weedless crawler. And then this has got some mix-up stuff. I got a crankbait covers. They come, they're pretty neat. You still get the action of a crankbait, but you also got this real like fish texture you can put over your crankbaits. And all you do is pull them apart and feed your crankbait through the head. And then what that fish sees is getting the rattle, the real look of a swim bait, and a crankbait all in one. These things are about the best things to catch crappies on. I don't know how many people would agree or disagree, but a little swim bait and a jig head, little yellow and black, they're pretty nice. I like to use them. And if I don't use them, these green and silver, that green color again, I'm telling you, it's a good color. Now I bought these to try. I ain't got to try them yet. I'm not really. These red, I've never really done good on red color besides largemouth. Now don't get me wrong. Crankbaits, largemouth bass, they love it. And again, swim baits has to be one of my favorite if you're river fishing. You're not losing something really expensive. If you lose a swim bait, you're not losing a $20 plug. And then that comes into play your deep water and your shallow water. However you're throwing your plugs or how you're throwing your swim baits. But them dudes, they're cheap, easy to hook, and easy to keep on your line. And fish like them. And we'll move on. This is my crappie box. I talked to you about crappie fishing. Crappie, like anything, you just basically throw them out. If it goes in front of them, they'll eat it. Now these little spinners with trailers behind them, they're pretty good, especially in shallow waters. You can hook plenty of crappie on them. If you're bank fishing, if you're side fishing, if you're on a boat and you cast along docks anyway or anyhow, these are your fish attractors. They see that spin. When that spin's going, that shine will catch their eye, and then they come after that and they swallow it, they demolish it. And then you also got your little plugs for them. And I like these because they got the little ball in them. And they sell these at Walmart. You can get them about anywhere. You don't have to spend all kinds of money to catch fish. Most of the time if people's buying these really expensive things, the fishermen don't realize these people that make these things, they're buying you, not buying your fish. You don't have to have a $20 or $30 lure or however much you want to think you got to spend to catch fish. I've caught fish. I've caught the biggest fish I've caught with little cheap lures. You don't have to have nothing major to catch anything big. I've fished for a long time. This right here is my crappie box. These little crawdads, they work pretty good. Muddy water, you want to go with a reddish kind of color. If it's clear or a slight muddy tint to it, this green will do alright. And people want to call these, I've seen videos on YouTube and everywhere else, people calling a rooster tail spinner baits. They're not spinner baits. Just because they have a spinner on them, they're called a rooster tail. The rooster tails will always have fur, or they'll always be shaped with a hook, a treble hook on them. Don't get me wrong, people will call them what they want, they say what they are, but a rooster tail is made just like that. That's your spinnerbait. Spinnerbait will always Y out and look just like And rooster tail is totally different. If you can't, I mean, I don't know why people would want to call them that, but if you're a trout fisherman, I want to show you 2 power baits here that I'm familiar with. That I'm pretty trout like them, and they're by Power Bait. Berkley makes them, and they're called Extra Scent. This is glitter trout bait. It's a rainbow color. And this is called Turbo Dough. It's 42% stronger. It's green, orange, and yellow looking. It's got a bluish tint to it too. And we're gonna move over to my flies. If you like fly fishing. This is some of my homemade flies. And it don't take much to make them. All you gotta have is a vise. Certain things you gotta use. You can go buy the stuff at Cabela's, Bass Pro. You can get the jig heads at Walmart, or you can just use plain hooks like this little trout catcher. Fish for rainbow, brook trout, whatever you fish for. Largemouth also will eat a fly, people. This right here is a homemade fly I've made. Kind of resembles a sunfish. Resembles a sunfish. Here's another fly. And you can buy squirrel tails, you can buy buck tails already dyed, you can buy feathers, or however you want to buy it. You can just, I mean, be creative. This is a pink-headed bumblebee. I mean, see? You can be absolutely creative, and they'll catch sunfish. They'll catch whatever's after. If they see it, they'll eat it. And that's my tackle box. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want to see more, if you want to see me fishing, or however, or whatever, any questions, subscribe, leave comments. And I hope you had a good day. I hope I ain't bored you in this video. Any tips, any ways I can help, just let me know. Thank you.